time when I get gear questions, it's always about the instrument. When we hear a sound that we like, it's natural to ask, what kind of wood is that shell made out of, or how big is that crash cymbal? But I think it's really easy to forget how big of a contribution all the other recording equipment can make to your finished sound. Now clearly, the first step to improving your recorded sound is to make sure that you're playing a quality instrument that's in tune, but that really only gets you so far, at least in the recording world. In recording, we're turning the organic sounds that come off of our drum sets into a bunch of ones and zeros, and then back into a sound out of a speaker. So every little step within that process is an opportunity for you to either maintain your original sound or enhance it in some way. For me, microphones are the second most important step in the entire recording process, with the first step being to make sure that you have a well-tuned instrument. In this video, I'll walk you through each microphone that I keep on my kit and try to offer a little insight as to why I purchased each one of these mics. Let's get into it. The Shure Beta 57A is definitely my favorite snare mic. This mic comes in around 140 bucks, but they're pretty easy to find for around $100 used, and I wouldn't be too scared to get this mic used because, in my experience, it's a really tough microphone. I own two of the Beta 57s, one for my snare top and another for snare bottom. Now I know a ton of you are screaming, why wouldn't you just buy an SM57? Well, I had two SM57s and I broke both of them. I found that with one good whack to a 57, you can crack that black plastic on the tip of the mic, and after I had one recording ruined from that broken plastic, I needed something that just was a little bit more durable and had a longer lifespan. My Beta 57s are both 2 years strong, and they give me a really musical but also a very honest snare sound. This is definitely a good mic to look into if you're playing the long-term investment game. Next up, we have the D6 by Audix, and this is absolutely my go-to kick mic. Now, the D6 is notoriously colored to sound modern. The frequency response of this mic has an absurd boost in the 3 to 12K range, so this mic inherently sounds really tight and punchy on kicks. This is not the mic you want if you're looking for a big, open-sounding kick drum. I wouldn't recommend this mic for genres like classic rock, blues, or jazz, but if you're into that modern, super audible kick sound, this is the exact mic that you're looking for. I also use this mic as my big floor tom mic, and I love the sound I get with it, especially combining that with an EMAD. The D6 comes in at $199, but you can often find these used for around 150 bucks, and it's a pretty easy mic to find used because a lot of people try and sell these things because they buy them and realize that it just has a very specific sound, and that's not quite what they're looking for. But if you can find one used, 150 bucks, highly recommended. The SM81 is the first condenser mic on this list, and this is an incredible mic for any instrument with a higher frequency range. Now, admittedly, I have my SM81s in some weird places right now, but I think they're working out pretty well. My first SM81 is on the underside of my hats, and this is purely for aesthetic reasons, so I can film over top of the hi-hats. Placing mics on top of the hats is ideal, but my overheads capture plenty of hi-hat articulation, so this underside miking technique provides a little bit more body to balance that out. My second SM81 is on the kick batter, and I want to be clear that this isn't a technique I would recommend for everyone. I keep this mic here so I have a super snappy option for my kick drum in mixing. In my case, well over 70% of my views are from mobile devices, whether that be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or OrlandoDrummer.com. So it's in my best interest to have a kick sound that translates really well through phone speakers. For most people, the SM81 is the mic that you'll want to use on cymbals because it does a killer job of capturing a really crisp, brilliant cymbal sound. You can find the SM81 for $350 brand new, and if you're lucky, you can find a used pair of these for around 500 bucks. I own not one, not two, not three, but four of the AKG C414. And I know this is a little excessive, but this was the first mic that I completely fell in love with. The C414 works on literally everything but the kick drum, and it would probably still be okay there. I use these mics as my overheads as well as my tom mics. The The C414 captures an insanely clean and bright sound on both drums and cymbals, so they're awesome for getting a really complete overhead sound. I find that the C414 is really friendly with high mids, so it captures a nice snap to your toms, but they also have enough low end to let the drum breathe and still have some body. Now, I got all 4 of these mics used because blowing $4,000 all at once at Guitar Center never felt like the best idea. You can find these on eBay between $500 and $700 each, and trust me, it is not a mic that you'll ever regret buying. So that's my current mic setup, but it took me a long time to settle on these specific microphones. I bought plenty of other mics over the past several years, and I have very few bad things to say about any of them. So there are 2 other mics that I want to make sure you know about, because I think if you're really chasing a complete drum mic locker, you kind of have to have these next mics in your collection. Our first runner-up is the Sennheiser E604. This is an infamous tom mic that gives a really reliable sound and can be found in studios all over the world for good reason. The mounting system on the E604 is incredibly well designed, and these are super tough microphones. The E604s also perform incredibly well in a live environment, so as far as all-around tom mics go, the E604 is a really good investment. And the last mic on our list is the Sennheiser MD421. I used this mic for a really long time as my floor tom mic, and it's definitely a super honest microphone. I just prefer to have something a little bit more catered to the low end like the D6. Now, this is also a great mic for vocals and guitar cabs, so it's a really good multi-purpose mic to just have around any studio. Currently, I have this mic mounted on my desk, and I use it for voiceovers, Skype lessons, and podcasting. Definitely one of my favorite vocal mics. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this list and that you're feeling a little bit more informed about your next mic purchase. Now, keep in mind that I have a desired sound in mind, and I bought all of these mics in pursuit of that specific sound. It's very likely that you and I don't share an identical opinion about what the perfect kit sounds like, so know that you could still get a killer drum sound using completely different microphones than the one listed in this video. If you want to learn more about all the gear that I use to make videos, like drums, cymbals, heads, cameras, lenses, and more, check out the first link in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. Adam here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.